Hi, this is Spencer Colgan from Spencer Colgan is Wallpaper. This is the York Cork wallpaper that we've been installing for the last two videos. And I want to show you how to lay the seams up against each other so that you don't overlap them and you don't get glue from one piece onto the other. Okay? Let me bring it up close. Now you see the seam, right? That line, you got to get rid of that line. So, now let me just tell you how stubborn this wall covering is. Just watch when I join the seam and then it separates. Watch this. You would agree it's nice and tight, right? Watch this. Take the pressure off. Look what happens. So what do? Now if you overreact, you're going to push this onto this, and you're going to get glue on it. So you have to reduce the stress in the wall covering over here. Choose an area about 10 inches to the right of the seam, and then what you're going to do is you're going to press this down so that this isn't pulling on this. Let me show you. Very simple. Okay. Hands is a wet red. You're not going to touch the wall covering with it, but you're going to get the glue off of your smoother if the seam should give you glue, and you want to just quickly wipe it off. Okay. Dry hand, push those seams together. Making sure that you don't have so much glue near your seam underneath the wall cover that it comes out, because that's a problem. You'll have glue on your seams and an angry customer. Okay, so now let's show you how much better that's coming out. You see, the point here is that this whole sheet is one unit, right? So there's tension on this. If I just address the seam, well, this is pulling on the seam too. So take about 9 to 10 inches to the right of the seam and secure that down. Make sure that you get all the air out of it. Then you can work on the seam, making the seam come together. After all, look at where the wallpaper goes when I pull my hand off of it. Look, it goes this way, right? Which means this wallpaper over here is pulling on the seam. So if you take the tension off over here, your seam is going to look good. Last tip. Okay. If you use this too hard, you're going to scratch the cork. So here's what I want you to do. Either take a piece of cork wall covering and put the cork up against the cork, and then use your smoother. I'll just use a different wallpaper. But let's make believe that it's the same thing, because I don't want to waste this very expensive wallpaper. But if you get a piece of scrap, by all means, use it. So this is one type of wallpaper from another job. But let's say this was the cork side of it. Put the cork up against the cork. Now you have less friction on the cork, and you can work your seam. You don't have to worry about scratching the wall cover. Okay? Because if you keep rubbing this on cork, you might have a little nick on this, and it's going to pull the cork off of the wallpaper. So I could just keep using this. Of course, you want to check it to make sure that glue has not come out onto it. And let's see how our seam down below did, okay? So we're going around fireplace opening, and you can see that our seam looks pretty good above it, right? Look how nice and tight that is. But we got 12 inches below the fireplace. Our seam is a problem, right? So let's fix it. And let's use the method I just showed you. Make sure our wall covering is nice and clean. Put it up against there. You can keep pushing this all you want up against the seam. It's going to keep splitting. It'll come together. It'll come together, then it'll separate. And you'll see what I mean. This is the special effect of cork. So, but if you just follow these simple instructions, it won't happen to you. See, I keep pushing it back, and look what happens. Remember, it's pulling this way. So where's our problem? It's this way, right? We have to make sure that the tension is off on this side of the seam. So let's secure it. All you got to do is just push it down. Just push it down. You're pushing the air out. You're making the wallpaper stop sliding when you do that because you got the air out. And then it makes it easier to join the seams. There's our seam. Okay, very good so far. This is all an opening. Where my hand is here, it's all an opening for the fireplace. I'm taking the tension off. Okay, it looks pretty good. Before I cut it, let me just make sure that it's nice and tight, the seam. It's still a little tight. So I'm gonna hold it here. I'm about 8 inches away from the seam. I'm pressing down hard against the wall, and then I just push my seam in place. You tell me if you like this seam. That's as tight as you're gonna get that seam. Here's our seam. And there you have it. That's how you install cork wallpaper, paying particular attention to the seams, because it's unlike other wallpaper in that you got to get it right, because if you don't, you'll have a nice gap in your seams. Okay, this is Spencer Colgan from Spencer Colgan is Wallpaper. Please click on like, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you on the next one.